Welcome back to Democracy Catastrophe. So, one of my favorite channels that I like to watch is TYT, the Young Turks. Cenk Uygur, Yakup Sparian, Ring of Fire, all those channels, they're under the TYT banner or are used as the server for TYT, and they're basically being funded by the public to run their shows. So it's like maybe like $5 donation to their channel and a month. So you can get like content that they freely distribute out, whether it be live streaming or it's on YouTube or Twitch or whatever. They're a very big platformed channel which reaches out to a lot of subscribers. Think about elections. Elections has consequences. And one of the consequences is, of course, that you don't know what's going to happen from the next administration, especially if it's a Republican administration that's going to be going in, and it kind of concerns things about free speech, free press, and so forth. That being said, gotta remember, I'm just a commentator, just an armchair quarterback, seeing this from a regular guy's point of view, and I'll try to make sense of what's out there. And my educated guess, why is people saying TYT is going to the right? I don't see them going to the right. I see them as a business model trying to make money for their staff, for themselves, and the content that is created, the creators' work is for you, the audience, to listen to what they have to say without being bombarded by large companies who do a lot of sponsorship for paid advertisements onto their channels. I don't know if they have any paid slots for advertisements, but because a lot of times a lot of these independent media channels do really rely upon small dollar donations just to fuel their content, because a lot of times once they have a huge following, it starts to become from a hobby to a full-time job, and that may require staff and may require going on to other bigger platforms. TYT has been around for close to possibly over 25 years now, starting out, I believe, from Air America, started on a radio platform. Al Franken, Tom Hartman, Ed Schultz, came from those ilk that basically before YouTube was ever around. Cenk Uygur was mentored by Ed Schultz after, I think it was after the 2000 election, that he saw what was really happening in the real world in 2004, I do believe. I could be wrong. He decided to become a Democrat. And over a period of time, his views has sort of progressed into what we have today's, like the Bernie Sanders wing of the Democratic caucus. And in the Democratic caucus, the thing is that there's many people that have been in the old days in the 90s that have been around for a long time that were like established Democrats, which was offset by Democrats who wanted to get away from the old system of FDR, the New Deal Democrats who pretty much gone extinct in the late 70s, early 80s, and pretty much there was sort of like a centrist Democratic blend of Democrats in which they kind of branded themselves willing to work with the right in order to get something done. Translation: I will vote for the Republican bills for you if you vote for our watered down version of a really good bill that will help benefit the people. And in which case, the bills usually kind of tanked for the people, and the Democrats could say it was a win. Really no help for the American people. So why the change of heart? As some people say, the TYT is going to the right. One of my earlier episodes, I discussed what Project 2025 was. And in doing so, Trump, as much as he is, as like people say, that he's not up there mentally, I do not believe for 1 second that is true. I think it's just a smokescreen for what will be implemented on January 20th, come the following month in 2025. What's going to be happening in 2025 is going to be like everything that Biden has done and Obama has done, and just overhaul it and just throw it into the can if they can do it. And right now, I don't think the Congress has enough votes to do the things that Trump wants to do. So, what they're going to be doing with Project 2025 is to get as many executive orders out as possible on that day and that day alone, and pretty much do a massive overhaul to all government services that will benefit American people. You're talking about the IRS. You're talking about SNAP. You're talking about unemployment. Those are the three biggest issues that affect real American lives, and it also affects the American economy, because that money that comes from the taxes actually helps stimulates or helps put money into the economy, well, regardless if you're rich or poor. If you have SNAP, if you are unemployment, you still can be able to go to the store to get groceries, get gas in your car. I mean, come on. You hold the drill as an American person, yet you do benefit from these entitlements, so to speak. And Social Security is not an entitlement, but that's a story for a different discussion. But right now, they're talking about cutting Social Security, cutting Medicare and Medicaid, and cutting all across the board to give as much money to the top 1/10 of 1%, and then hopes that in the hopes of creating a smokescreen with other nonsense issues that do not affect Americans. What's going to happen? They're going to put wars out there. They're going to start wars out there. They're going to try to exploit the Israel Middle East conflict, even though it's kind of important to American politics today. It doesn't really affect people here in the United States. In general, what's happening now is self-preservation for one of the largest media outlets if they're going, quote unquote, to the right. And I don't see that happening. And I'll tell you why. When they did an analysis, and I did watch one of the episodes, and one thing is Democrats are fickle about is helping the American people. They all say that they're for the American people, but do the other thing. With the Republicans, you are guaranteed to get screwed by the Republicans. They'll say it to your face, and they'll mean it, and they will do it, but yet people vote for them. Why is that? Because nobody likes a liar. And the Democrats have been lying to the American people for a long, long time. And you get some of these, what more to say? These new visionaries, these FDR wannabes, these LBJers, and they would want to do everything that they can, but they're stopped tooth and nail by some of the crustiest, oldest Democrats, and they just cower to them. And the progressives, if they're called progressives, they can pretty much can stick where the sun don't shine. Because what the Republicans offer, you don't offer anything to the American people. But what they do offer is the truth about who they are. Well, I like it. They have a plan. So now I'm going to screw you, the American people. You're going to take it. You're going to like it. And there's really nothing you can do about it. As to oppose, who I'm going to change the world, but I'm going to give this to you, but that's what the Democrats offer. Those buts, those loopholes, those everything they can to water down bills that help benefit the American people. And what has Ben Biden been doing? He's keeping his mouth shut, chugging along, and the press is doing nothing just to cover what he's been doing, because what's the point? Harris lost. And right now, from January 3rd to 20th, what's Biden going to do? He's going to be pardoning a lot of people off. He's going to put in a lot of executive orders. And I'm willing to bet he's going to put in a lot of executive orders that are going to just drown Trump. If you're smart, put a little fuck you up to his ass. And pretty much Biden's been around for such a long time. He knows how to do this. He knows how to screw the Republicans. He knows their weak spots. And that's good to have. Would I like to see Biden in 4 years? Absolutely. I would have loved to see that. I he pretty much told Obama and the establishment that he wants Harris in to replace himself. It was under a lot of pressure by Pelosi to get Gavin Newsom in there. Gavin Newsom, he's an establishment. What's the word I'm looking for? Um, um, he's a minion of his mother-in-law, Nancy Pelosi. Tim Walz, and I would like to say this, and I hate to say this about females in politics, they'd rather have a white male, crooked ass politician, as opposed to somebody who hasn't broken the law, who isn't black, and who isn't a woman, than to have Kamala Harris. And that's what happened. And the polls kind of show that. The polls kind of reflect the fact that her politics was just so fickle, so downright downtrodden. She goes where the polls are at, and what's trending and what's not. And what the politicians will do, they'll do the bait and switch. The bait and switch is this. They'll look at something that's popular, like abortion, and they'll tag themselves onto the. Well, we already talked about that. I think you're smart enough to understand what bait and switch is. But the thing with Project 2025 is why it might be the reason why TYT is swinging to the right, if they're truly going to be doing that to the right, is for self-preservation. Not to be, they'll do what they can to be as fair and as balanced as they possibly can, as much as they possibly can. And to me, that's a good business model. Politics is not for the weak of heart. It's a game of give and take. Would I like to see a lot of things given to the American people? Like a raise in the minimum wage, a cut in inflation, getting rid of what's that? A budget cap or whatever? Get rid of the caps. I mean, spend as much as possible on even if it's in a deficit. But what can happen is when you have a deficit, what can offset those deficits is the raising of taxes on the top 1/10 of 1%. By at least 2 or 3, you raise the taxes, not just on the income, you do it on transaction taxes, stock transactions that go like seconds, that go like click. They just go like this all the time. And when you see that ticker going ding, 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 if you have transaction debt, marijuana is a viable, taxable product that I believe has helped a lot of state governments boost their economy, boost the tax revenues, so they can help their own people in their own states if the federal government says no. The thing is, if you want less of government, you tax the things that are mostly what uh, the regular Americans want to be taxed, want to for a demand for. And the thing is about this uh, approach about taxes and try not to get off topic, but I just did. Taxes and being able to help people out. There are some states that are a lot wealthier than many of the other states in the South, and the biggest people that use a lot of federal government aids are mostly the ones that vote Republican. Uh, Florida, Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, they use that money. Even though Texas is possibly very wealthy, there's still a lot of people that are working, what you call the working class poor. It's a boom or bust in that state, and those states use a lot of those federal dollars to help with SNAP, help with unemployment, help with rent control, and Medicare and Medicaid or Obamacare, whatever you want to call it. So when it comes to those issues alone, those states put in Republicans to blame the Democrats so they keep the Republicans in office. And they benefit from those federal dollars. And guess what? Who pays for those campaigns? Who pays for the millionaire and billionaire class that supports supports the Southern candidates? And in doing so, the Democrats have hurt themselves by calling people in the right names, calling them Nazis, calling them right-wing nut jobs. And they are right-wing nut jobs. But for me to stand back and say, I don't understand what's going on, the thing is that the progressives, they don't know what to do from this point up until January 20th. But on January 21st, what's going to end up happening is this. You get somebody from the FCC that's it's a candidate pick. I don't know who's going to be. And they're possibly going to just try to overhaul political rhetoric on radio. Period. I mean, and on you and on the internet, they're going to try to do whatever they can to undermine democracy at all costs. So I'd be gun shy too. You take a lot of shots at Donald Trump. You take a lot of shots at the Republican Party, and guess what? They get voted in, and then we got to deal with the consequences. I wish I was wrong, November 5th, but I wasn't. I can say it for sure and say for any uncertainty. That in a perfect world, Kamala Harris should have been the real candidate to win the election. But she came in too late, and there was not a lot of real support. She kind of gave Tim Walz lip service, and pretty much everybody was that liked Tim Walz. He was making a lot of sense of them, and Tim Walz is like, "Hey, you voted for Trump. What am I supposed to do about it? I'm going to do my governorship up here in Minnesota. If I get another chance to run again, I will. But in the meantime, you can go fuck yourself because you decided to shoot yourself in the foot." And now now the MAGA and my extremists are realizing they've been sold a bad sort of goods by Donald Trump. He's not as squeaky clean as a lot of people say. He's even worse. But I'm not here to judge him because we allow this to happen. Because we reward bad behavior. And it just boggles my mind that we do that. That's much BS. So I give credit where credit's due for Jake and and whole TYT crew. If it's true, they go to the right. Then so be it. They go to the right. Because I'm willing to bet what he's trying to do is get more viewers for his channel. Try to win them over, convince that they're on the right, and just lay simple truths to them. And I hate to say this, Trump loves ignorant people. Republicans love ignorant people. I just wish that wasn't true. I just can't stand Trump. But at the same time, I have to respect him. He is now the president-elect. But Biden, please take my advice. If you go to my channel for whatever reason, I'm stammering, about to fall asleep, you come upon them, just give executive order after executive order after executive, make as many as 10,000 up to 1,000,000 executive orders. In doing so, possibly will have him take that 4 years up to undo all the executive orders out. And I don't think he has a clue of what he's doing when it comes to that. But hats off to you, Biden, for doing the best job as you possibly could do. Even though I disagree with you about Israel and Palestinians, I disagree with you on that. Totally 100%. I should think he should be tried as a war criminal for all the crap you've pulled on the Palestinians. But for right now, take this as an opportunity to get to know me, get to know my audience. And I don't have much of an audience. But that may change over a period of time. But for right now, I'm still going to stay infrequent. I'm going to say what's on my mind. If people don't like how I convey it, so what? And that being said, Lord have mercy, we have a better year in 2025. Peace out.